Hello, everybody. Welcome to PTZOptics live show, live on the last Wednesday of every month. Thank you so much for joining us. Tess, we have a very exciting show today. So
We sure
tell me
do.
what we got going on today. What's the fun stuff we're doing today on our live show?
Happy to. Welcome to one of our most exciting productions of the year. We're so excited for today's show. We've got a ton of great content for you, demonstrations, and most of all, new products and firmware. So let's dive into today's content with the live show squares. Kicking things off today, we're going to start with our launch party. That's right. Hive is officially launching on
Drum roll.
April 6th. So we have a launch date for you for PTZOptics Hive Studio. We're going to demonstrate that for you today. And if you're not familiar with PTZOptics Hive Studio, we're going to dive into what that means during today's show. Keep in mind, you can get it in your hands on April 6th during NAB. Woo! We also have some brand new firmware coming to the PTZOptics Move 4K cameras and Link 4K cameras. PTZOptics Horizon is what we're calling it. It's probably our coolest firmware update that we've ever had. So many cool new features, and we're going to demonstrate that with you today and give you a chance to speak to one of our dedicated engineers. So really excited to demonstrate that today. Also, we're going to be at NAB Show in just a few short weeks here. Starting on April 6th, we're going to be in South Hall Lower, booth 2328. Visit PTZOptics, where you can demonstrate our latest firmware and, of course, PTZOptics Hive Studio. If you'd like to purchase a new fixed camera, we have the Studio 4K, which is now shipping. It's the camera that you'll see John using today for his front-facing camera. So you'll get to see that demonstrated in just a short bit here. It is now shipping, so we're super excited about that. And we have a giveaway at the end of today's live show. We're going to be doing a contest. So we're using CrowdPur to have you do some trivia, which is going to be really fun, to win a PTZOptics Move SE camera. So if you want to get that set up, keep that browser open and ready for the end of the show when we do that giveaway. You can check out that QR code, at the link down here. So make sure you get that ready, have your account set up and all that good stuff. We do offer beta testing. You can be one of the first people to try out our latest features by joining PTZOptics beta community. Again, check out this QR code down here to access that at the PTZOptics Community Center. And I think this is the last slide. We want to make sure that we remind you to update your firmware. We want to make sure that you are adept with the latest and greatest from PTZOptics. We do have new firmware coming out in the coming weeks, so definitely make sure that you have the most up-to-date firmware. And I think that's it for squares, unless I'm wrong. That's it. Let's dive into today's content.
You are right on, Tess. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much because we have so much coming out. There's so much happening. Like she said, we're coming to NAB. We are so excited to show off all the great cameras that we offer, as well as our great software solutions. And if you want to win, right here in the description and that QR code, if you want to win your Move SE, we're going to do an awesome little CrowdPur game. So 10 questions, you can win a Move SE. Stay tuned to the very end of the show where we'll be doing those questions. All right, Mike, if you could show off some of these slides that I have here, I want to talk to you guys about the future of camera control for PTZOptics. We've been talking a lot about Hive Studio and this new firmware coming out called Horizon. So I wanted to go and jump right away into the exciting news about Hive Studio. So let's look and see Hive Studio. So you guys all know about this. We've been talking about this awesome solution for a long time. And just to give everyone a reminder, if you aren't aware of Hive Studio, Mike, let's go ahead and show the Hive Studio trailer to give people, an idea of how you can use Hive Studio. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you showing off that trailer. So exciting. And we're going to break down some of these main features here before we talk a little bit about, again, the announcement of when it's coming and a little bit about some of the pricing and how you can use it. We are so excited to talk about Hive Studio. And if you don't know, after watching that teaser, Hive Studio integrates camera control, color correction, and recording all in one platform. That has been a huge request. People want to know how to record their PTZ cameras. They want to know exactly the best way to color correct their cameras and control them in a very cinematic way. So Hive Studio is coming as NAB to NAB, as Tess said, on April 6th. Woo-hoo! We are so excited. We're going to be at the Vegas show the entire time from the 5th to the 10th. So if you want to see PTZ Optics, you want to check out our PTZ cameras or see the latest and greatest that Hive offers, come check us out at NAB. Alrighty, just a quick little recap. NAB, we're going to be showing off Hive Studio. So you can get this and test it the day it launches at home or if you're at the show. But a little more about Hive. Hive Studio offers the ability to bring in one camera for free. And that's not just PTZ Optics cameras, and that's not even limited to our cameras. It's open to any third-party camera as well that's supported. We have over 400 cameras currently that are supported in Hive Studio, and we're adding more and more every day. So test it out. You can use it immediately on the 6th, and you can just bring in one camera directly, as if it's a PTZ camera or if it's a third-party camera, and try out those cool new control options. So a little bit more about Hive. You can access it from anywhere as long as you have that handy dandy network. And that's the only time I'm going to say that word.
That's your one handy dandy.
That's my one.
Show.
And Hive is so great because not only can you remotely control your cameras, you can share them. And you can share them through multiple studios. You can share even just specifically one studio. You can share it with expiring access even. So you can quickly see, and at the end, we'll show a quick demo of Hive Studio to give you a refresher. You can set expiration times. You can set people to different team roles, like admin, for instance, which will allow you to access the entire Hive Studio platform. Or you can just set it to a viewer or someone who's a producer that can control all the cameras that you have inside of Hive Studio. Alrighty. And of course, Hive Studio will simplify your production. It's going to bring you recording. It's going to bring you camera control and color correction, and even the ability to NDI output your entire selection of camera video feeds. So whether you have a DSLR in there or a PTZ camera or even a webcam, you should be able to output via Hive Studio. And this is going to be great if you want to, output directly into a vmix software or an OBS software. That way you can have advanced control, but also in your favorite handy platform. Alrighty, and the reason why PTZ Optics cameras are extra special when it comes to Hive Studio is their ability to be Hive linked. So coming out with the firmware that we talked about, the Horizon firmware, which we'll talk about very soon, you're going to have the ability to Hive link these cameras, which will essentially require one-time setup process. So you'll go through a couple different setup processes, and then as soon as you're done, it'll take one check. Basically, you'll plug into your camera into the next network you want to be in, and you should be able to remotely connect and control your camera. So that'll allow you to do things like color correction, as I mentioned, adjust your camera settings, reboot or calibrate all remotely. You can even enable like automation features directly from Hive Studio as well. And this is just a quick little demonstration of just how easy it'll be. This is a demonstration with multiple worldwide studios. And this is the process. If you're going to plug in that Move 4K camera that's Hive linked, you'll easily be able to select your studio and where you want to bring it in. And just like that, one click, and you should be able to connect your Move 4K into Hive Studio. All right, and that's going to be limited. Don't forget, that's limited to just our cameras. If you're using a Sony, Panasonic, another camera out there, that's totally fine. It works in Hive Studio, but you're not going to be able to Hive link them for that instant connection. Alrighty, people want to know. It's officially coming out. We've given you a date, and you can go and learn more at ptzoptics.com/Hive if you want to learn more. There's tons of great information on Hive there. But let's talk about the pricing. As I mentioned, it is free for one camera, which is one video input. It's not just limited to our cameras. That's third-party cameras as well as DSLRs and non-PTZ cameras. Oh, thank you so much, Outcats. Will an Apple desktop work with 3 4K cameras? Short answer, yes. But long answer, it depends. What kind of Apple desktop are we talking? There's various versions. It works with, the M1 chips and the M2 chips, M3 chips, and so forth. So most likely, yes. It depends what else you're doing on that computer, though. We do have recommended specifications on our webpage, which again is ptzoptics.com/Hive. You can learn more about Hive Studio there as well. Thank you, Tess. Alrighty. So, like I said, free for one video input that allows you 5 hours of remote usage if you want to invite someone in just to test it out. This is a great opportunity just to try it. It's not going to cost you anything. You're going to be limited to 5 team members, and you're not going to be able to automate, auto tracking and auto framing. But you'll be able to try it out and see if it's right for you. See if you can try those color correction tools and see just how great they are. The ability to copy and paste color from one camera to the next. It's really enticing. So if you jump up to the standard studio, you're going to be able to add 3 different inputs. You're talking about the ability to add auto tracking as well to that, and 10 team members that you'll be able to kind of communicate and work with remotely. And that's going to start at a yearly price at $270 or a monthly price at $25 a month. And don't forget, this is coming out and it's going to be in an open beta. Hive Studio is going to be publicly available for anyone and everyone, but this is going to be the cheapest rates they'll ever be at. So Hive Studio is going to be open beta on April 6th, but this will be the cheapest prices you'll ever be able to get. We can't promise exactly when the price will go up, but this will be the cheapest rates that you'll be able to get for Hive Studio. And if you're looking for the utmost professional studio, the most level of control and collaboration, you're going to look at the Professional Studio here on the right, where you'll have unlimited video inputs, unlimited automation control, and 99 hours of remote usage. So keep an eye out. Again, if you want to learn more, you can go to ptzoptics.com/Hive and take a look on April 6th for yourself. Again, it's free for one camera. Alrighty. I think with that being said, again, we're coming to NAB on the 6th, but I think it's time to show off Hive Studio a little bit. We're going to do a quick demo. You might be wondering, where's Paul? Where's Mr. Richards?
He's somewhere around here.
He is remote, actually. He is going to be inside of Hive here. I'm going to open up Hive here and bring in these inputs. It's a little meta because you'll be able to see me inside of Hive as well as our studio here. So here's a little prime example of showing off how cool Hive is. You can see all your video inputs here on the left-hand side. And I showed and talked a little bit about how you can share this platform. And it's really easy. You can see I'm not touching anything. Paul is in here manipulating my camera. This is something that we've done with a lot of our audience members. It's a really fun way just to test out the software and the platform for yourself. So here's a quick way to send and share this platform with other people, as I mentioned. And that's currently how Paul is able to control these cameras here. So you're able to see the variations of different cameras. Let's see which cameras he's controlling. Alrighty, so he's controlling this camera here right on my desk. And he's using these intelligent cinematic camera controls, as you can see here at the top. So I'm going to cut to the side profile here of Tess. And I'm going to use some of these cool cinematic camera moves, like the ability to move by just moving your mouse around, the ability to zoom in with just the wheel of your mouse as I'm slowly zooming in. And then you get awesome features like the click to center or the click to frame, as Paul is showing off some cool different moves here. And let me show you the cine frame. So we're going to do a little meta zoom here on our confidence monitor. And I'm going to double click. And you'll see that it'll cinematically zoom. So it's going to slow down your PTZ settings to be as cinematic and as smooth as possible. Alrighty. So there's a lot of different options here I could show you. A lot of you are probably used to seeing Hive Studio, so we don't need to go into every single detail here. But for instance, look how easy it is to set a preset. Here's a preset of Tess. I can quickly select that. It'll lock in. For instance, on the right here, you have your standard PTZ controls that you're probably used to. Obviously, your zoom, your pan and tilt speeds, and even like a home button that you might be used to as well. So we're going to go home, and we're also going to easily, with one click, create a preset directly onto home. And if you want to go right back to your previous preset, it takes a simple click, and you'll go right back to that preset you just made a second ago. You can easily delete those presets with just a click. You can even rename them
Oh,
as
I'm
well.
sorry. I was not thinking about the fact that I was covering that up.
Oh,
when
no
I was
worries at
creating that
all.
comment.
Ruby is the best. I've talked to her a bunch. She's so excited
have
for
you?
Hive
Oh,
and
awesome.
Hive
Thanks,
Linked.
Ruby.
Yeah, she's the best. She's really nice. Okay, so I talked a little bit about color control and color correction. There's tons of different options in terms of how you want to control your exposure, how you want to manually go in and affect your picture, whether it's certain effects or you want to manually go in and control those effects. And you can even set presets for your color. If you want to standardize your presets for multiple cameras, you can easily copy in and paste these presets directly.
Should we invite people to control? Are we brave enough?
Yeah, we definitely could. Okay. We'll invite people as a producer. I'm going to copy this link and send it to you, Tess, if you could just throw it in the chat.
Sure.
Oh, actually, I have the ability here.
You're on?
I'm on. I'm going to throw it in there.
Hopefully we don't get too many people.
Test that for me. See how it's working on your end. And I'll show you a little bit.
Yep, you'll need to sign up, but...
Great. Alrighty, so I talked a little bit about the ability to record. That's something that people always ask. How can you record my PTZOptics camera? Well, there's a lot of different solutions. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is going to allow you to not only record, create a direct path to a folder that you want to select on your computer. You can even ISO record, so the ability to select one input or maybe all of your inputs. So you'll have the option to control it in a lot of different ways. And then I also mentioned the ability to NDI output your sources as well.
So this is how you'd bring it into your stream, right?
Exactly. Yep. If you want to bring in your video sources into OBS, if you want to bring it into vmix or another switcher.
We did get a question on that.
Yeah. So that's a great question because a lot of people want to have this level of cinematic control, but they want to also still use the great tools that they use in vmix. And we're using vmix right now. Shout out to Mike in the back who's producing our show today. He's doing a great job as always.
Another question on usage. 25 and 99 hours per month. Maybe when we're done the demonstration, we can go back to that slide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's Paul hiding? he's remote right now controlling our cameras.
Yeah, he's remote in here controlling our cameras.
Are any of them moving right now so we can see who's in? Oh, go to the alert. Is it telling us that if people have joined? What does the alert tell us?
People have come in. The monitoring symbol here?
No, the alarm.
The alarm is to show you basically what you've done inside of Hive Studio. So the ability to show you that you're connected, you're enabled, and that you copied the Hive link or the shareable link.
Okay.
So it gives you a little bit of history. So here we have someone controlling the camera. They created a Danny cam to look at Danny DeVito. What I'm showing here in the software is the ability to monitor your sources. This is something that you'll never see in a lot of other softwares, not something that we've offered previously in the past. But it's really cool. You can be able to see the quality score, the resolution that you're kind of sending your cameras out, and the output format that you're sending these cameras out. It's really amazing, and there's so much functionality inside of this. I mean, we're just showing you the very smallest little details of what's possible in Hive because it's up to you, right? Like you as the person in control, the producer, the creative, there's endless amount of options that you can achieve with Hive Studio. So as Tess mentioned, I'm going to go back to the pricing. There was a quick question about that. So someone asked about the overage costs and being related to the 99 hours of remote usage. So the overage costs is if you go beyond those 99 hours. So I wouldn't worry about the 0.025 cents per minute unless you're going over those 99 hours. And then that's when you'll reach into the overage costs. And that's remote usage only. Like I said, this is an application for both Mac and Windows, but it's also browser-based as well. So you can use this completely without downloading any software. And that's a huge advantage. Some people just want the ability to open up a browser and immediately start controlling their cameras like you're used to with our web interface, for instance. And speaking of web interface, I think it's now time to talk about Horizon.
Yay!
So we have a great new option coming out on April 6th to control your cameras with Hive. But we're also going to offer a free firmware update that will not only make your cameras Hive linked to connect them to Hive, but it's also going to update your standard web interface. So a lot of you will use your web interface to control your cameras, to adjust your color correction, and to control basically every setting inside of your camera. Well, we want to improve that. And we want to take you to the next step, which is Horizon. Horizon is a brand new web interface that's exclusive to the Move 4K and Link 4K cameras. And this is completely free. Like I said, this will be released in the latest firmware update that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And we're very excited because this takes camera control in a whole new direction, and it's going to be the future for PTZOptics. So I'm going to go over quickly a little bit of these features, and then we're going to show you a demo, a little sneak peek on how we use this live. And then we're going to bring in one of our great engineers named Alex, who's worked really, really hard to develop this new WebUI. So if you're a little bit confused about what you're looking at here, mobile friendly is something that people are always asking for. I want to use my phone to be able to control my PTZ movements. Well, you'll be able to do that now with Horizon. You'll be able to use the same web interface because it'll adapt and adjust based on your browser and your location. So here we have it on an iPhone, and on the left is what you're used to, their old web interface. On the right, you'll see that it adapts, it fits to your screen perfectly. It shows you all the settings. And on the left, on the desktop, you can see how our original web UI, you could zoom in, you could adjust it a little bit, but you can see how it's not adaptive and it's not completely adjusting based on how zoomed in you are onto the platform itself. Alrighty, so that gives you a cool view of how this is going to be mobile friendly. You'll be able to use Horizon on your phone. You'll be able to use all the settings that you see on the desktop as well as on mobile. Alrighty, so Horizon offers a lot, and like I said, we're going to show you a video that'll go over every single feature, and it's about 15 minutes, so it is long. So I don't want to spend too much time going over all of this, because who wants to look at a slide when you can look at the video of it all? But it offers awesome new camera control options that add you a lot more cinematic control and view, and that's similar to Hive, where you can click and point, or you can frame and even drag your modes directly. That'll allow you to kind of drag and frame people exactly like you're seeing in Hive, but you're going to have it directly in your web interface now. Then you'll have advanced color correction options that'll be better than you've ever seen. This is a huge, huge improvement than what we had on our previous web interface, where you can have side-by-side comparisons. You're getting more options in terms of colors. You have a color dropper on the exact HSL values that you'll have. You're going to have AI-powered presets, which I'm calling auto presets, which we'll talk about very soon. And there's no software needed, like I mentioned. This is a web interface. It's just directly done through your browser, and it's going to be a free update that'll come in the next couple of weeks. And this is our love letter to you guys. Like, you have provided us with so much great feedback, so much great just inspiration, sharing your visions. Like, I completely forgot we didn't share a vision today.
We forgot.
Which might as well, since I'm on the topic. Our audience is so great, and they constantly show us how they're using our cameras. And if you want to show us how you're using your camera, use hashtag on any platform, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, hashtag share your vision, and throw up some images. Show us how you're using it and what space or environment are you using. So here we have a little Northwest Florida State College arena, and they have a basketball championship. So we found this on Facebook. Thank you to RJ Murdoch on Facebook who shared this. And I love seeing this. It always cracks me up seeing PTZ cameras in a cage like that.
I know. It looks like they're wearing a helmet.
Yeah, like they're little, football warriors ready to go out there. And that looks like a beat up camera. I'm not going to lie. RJ Murdoch, you might need a new Move 4K at this point. But in all seriousness, we recently did a survey where we talked about an opened survey for everyone who uses our cameras, and over 1,000 people took this survey, and 50% of those people said that out of five out of 5 stars for PTZOptics reliability and stability. And I think that's huge. It speaks volumes about how we make products that last.
It does.
People are using our cameras from 10 years ago still, whether they're beat up and they've been hit, they've been dropped. People are still out there using PTZOptics cameras. And we're not done. We're continuing rolling. If you want to win your own Move SE camera, stay tuned to the end of the show, where we'll do a little game giveaway. All right, back to the slides here. If you are looking to update this firmware, remember it's not quite out yet. In the next couple of weeks, Horizon will be coming out. And if you want to update your firmware in the old web interface, all you'll do is make sure that's open, go to your system settings on the web interface, and then you'll see a button here, like you see on this GIF, that says, here it is, check your firmware. and it'll tell you if you need to update or if you're up to date. So you can see here we're up to date, but make sure to check out the newest firmware update coming in the next couple of weeks for the Move 4K and the Link 4K. Alrighty, so I mentioned some of those cool new camera control options, and we're going to get to a video which we'll show very soon. But of course, you'll have your standard PTZ control like you're used to. That's the standard of, and something we're going to keep. You know, everyone's used to that sort of standard. And of course, you'll be able to use your controllers and your game controllers and your hardware controllers. But we're offering great new modes that allow you to use your hand, your mouse, to kind of control your camera instantly. So clicking and pointing or framing a certain part of the screen and hitting go to zoom in on that exact frame, or dragging. You can drag your mouse to adjust how fast you want to pan and tilt to another location. So these are really cool because you can affect these, especially the dragging mode. You can change the effects of the speed. And that's a whole new element to this new web interface, is what we're calling speed templates. So instead of just, manually clicking up and down to adjust your speeds, you can now set 4 different speed templates. And what that will tell you, and as you can see with the turtle and the bunny rabbit there, you can frame these as your slowest preset template or your fastest preset template. This will allow you to easily switch and change on the fly instead of going to the right-hand side here and clicking up, 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 or down, 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 down. This will make things so fast for you that you'll be able to quickly go in and change these templates immediately. So on the right-hand side for speed settings, this is actually what you'll do to create the speed setting or the speed template. And that speed template will be one of the circles. So that'll represent one of the templates after you adjust those settings and hit confirm. You'll also see the ability for zoom compensation. So I want to call that out because zoom compensation is basically, this is something that people talk about all the time. When you're using like a 30x camera, like what's the biggest issue test that people always bring up when they have a 30x camera and they're zoomed in all the way?
I don't know. What is it?
It's the ability to just move simply left, right, up or down, pan and tilt. People want to do that in a very tiny, minutia way, right? These tiny, small movements. Well, what zoom compensation will do is it'll know that you're zoomed in all the way. For instance, 30x, if you have a 30x camera. And when you're zoomed in all the way, you want to have finer, tiny motions. You don't want to be able to jump and move as fast as you were when you were zoomed out. So zoom compensation will take that into consideration, and you'll be able to make those smaller adjustments because it'll know that you're zoomed in, and you don't need to make a huge 2-foot, 3-foot movement. Alrighty, so not only will you be able to customize your speed settings, you'll also be able to customize your presets. So you'll have the ability to not only add presets like you're used to, up to 255 presets, but you'll be able to add a custom image for your preset. You'll be able to add a custom name for your preset. You'll be able to do both if you want, as you can see with test there. So you can know exactly who's in your shot, the talent that you need, the type of information or content that you need to deliver based on your presets. Not only that, and I will say, I know you guys are going to have tons of questions. We're going to bring in an engineer at the very end of this stream, and he's going to hopefully be able to answer as many questions as you have, because there's a lot. I know you guys are going to be very excited to try out Horizon as soon as possible. One of the coolest things about the new preset options is the ability to bank these presets, or what we're calling preset banks. So on the right-hand side here, you'll see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 listed. These are all preset banks. So if you're using a Stream Deck or the companion app, this is something that you're probably used to. The ability to set up like a different page. In this instance, we're going to call them banks. The ability to easily switch over to a whole separate set of presets. So this might be good if you are a house of worship, and during the daytime, you're going to have some sermons and some different events happening. So you'll want to have a preset bank for all your daytime services. At nighttime, you'll want to have a preset bank of all of your nighttime services or your candlelight worship. This will allow you to adjust those, color settings exactly how you want for exactly the setting and the time of day that you want. So preset banks are going to take your presets to the next level, and we'll talk about auto presets really soon as well, because you'll want to hear about those. So you're not going to get just a standard view like you're used to in the WebUI. You're going to get 3 different ways to view your cameras and your video feed. So we'll talk about the basic view and the color view and the studio view in just a second here. So first, you'll have your basic view. This is what you'll open up the software to and what you'll be used to. This is a preview of our color dropper, which I'll shout out right away. Color correction is one of the biggest issues when trying to control multiple cameras. If you're mixing in a different brand of camera, I would use Hive Studio because that'll allow you to kind of cross use different brands, third-party cameras with PTZOptics cameras. But with Horizon, you're going to be limited to the Move 4K or the Link 4K. But here in this image, you'll see pictures of droppers. So color correction is a huge issue that people are always trying to figure out and solve. And this will simply tell you the exact HSL values of the color that you select. So you'll be able to click a little dropper and just drop all along your image to get the exact color points. And then, of course, you can do this for another camera to really exactly color match. You'll have the ability to open up your preview in a full screen, which people have been asking for such a long time. New preset control options, as I mentioned, and the ability, of course, to automate and use those brand new cinematic control features, which we'll show very soon. Color view is when we take the color correction to a next level, where you'll have the ability to look at the RGB parade. You'll be able to look at the waveform or the vector scope to really get down into the nitty-gritty of your color. Of course, you'll be able to adjust all your standard image exposure settings that you're used to. But what's cool about this is that you'll even be able to take your settings from one camera. Say if you have two different browsers open with two different WebUIs for two different PTZOptics cameras, you'll be able to simply drag and drop from one camera to the other, and it'll just drop that color palette right on top of that camera. And not only will you be able to do that after making changes in the WebUI for the color correction and the image correction, as soon as you exit from the setting, it'll tell you and show you a before and after of those color adjustments. So gone is the day where you make changes and you try to remember, was it darker? Was it brighter? Did I have more contrast? You'll be able to see the before and after before you exit out of those settings, just so you know exactly that you made the right decisions. Now, the studio view is where we're listening to everybody and we're integrating AI into our web interface. The ability to create auto presets is something that I'm really excited about. And as you can see here on the two images, what the studio view will allow you to do is search for people inside of the frame. So we have great voice tracking beta that has been out that, as we mentioned in the very beginning. Oh, thank you, iCast. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So as we showed off in the very beginning here, the ability to join our beta program, which you can join at our community portal, and that should be in the link below. Inside of that community group is a Discord for beta access. And the beta access, a lot of those users have been able to try voice tracking, which is something that's going to come out with this Horizon software as well. And that software allows you to take it to the next step. And this is where we're able to integrate it in another form, which is presets. So here's what I'm calling auto presets. It'll simply search for the people in the frame, and then it'll, boom, instantly create a preset. So as you can see in that lower image there, you'll have Tess as number 1. She's the first person it recognizes. And then Mr. Danny DeVito, our little test subject here, who will be number 2. And those will be created instantly. It'll take a snapshot of your wide shot, your wide frame of view, or your home positioning for PTZ cameras. And you'll be able to simply even click on those boxes. If you want to simply switch between those two, you can also make your own by using your mouse as well, which we'll show in our video preview here in just a second. And just as I mentioned, before we jump into this awesome demo, it is 15 minutes. We'll show you exactly how the Horizon works. We'll have Alex, who's our great developer who's been working on this really great new web interface, and he's going to be guiding us through in this video. Before we get to that, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you right after this video in just a minute.
Well, the first thing that we're going to show off is a new control scheme called point and click. And if you go to the very top left of your video, you will have your different control schemes. The very first one is click and point mode. And as you go around the video, anywhere that you like to go, just click, and it will immediately take you to where you want to be. I want to come over here, and it will just let you go wherever you want. As soon as you click and hold, it will even show you a little helper arrow. That way you can figure out exactly where you're letting go. And if we zoom in a little bit on here, we can just show it off a little bit further. I'm going to click and point on somebody's head, and it just takes us anywhere. It's as simple as that. Well, the second new control scheme that we have, framing mode. It is the second option down in our control list. And you'll notice that when you hover over the screen, you will see that it starts to dim. And it shows you a little box. Anywhere that you want to click, it'll create a little frame. And inside of this frame, you can actually resize it and choose what your image is going to be. And if you push go, it will take you to that new shot. So now we have a great shot of Tess. Just to show that again, let's go back to home. And I don't have to just click. I can also click and hold and drag that box to be a little bit bigger. Let's get everybody in this shot. I'll make it a little bit smaller by dragging this down and go. And the video will automatically synchronously move every axis into your new shot. Our latest control feature is dragging mode. It is the third option down on our control list. And this kind of emulates a virtual joystick. As you move over the video, you'll see the icon is just a circle. As you click and hold and you start to move away, you'll notice that it will start to drag the video around. And the further away from center that you get, the slower that it will go. Notice if I go all the way away from center, it will start to pan a lot more. If I want to go back the other way, and if I want to just slow it down just a hair, I will move just slightly away from the center of the circle. And as soon as I let go, it stops. So one of the new features in here is now you don't have to go through a bunch of menus that are buried just to find something as simple as automation. We now have a toggle that will just switch it on. Now auto tracking has been turned on. We have a very beautiful box that will tell us what mode that we're in. And as you try to hover over any of the controls, you'll see that they are actually grayed out because you cannot enable basic PTZ while this mode is enabled. And as you want to turn it off, you can just toggle it off. As I toggle automation on, you will see that the auto tracking message pops on. And this is when the auto tracking engine will start. And now we're starting to track. And we can see a red box around Tess. And as she actually starts to stand and move around, we should see the camera follow her. All from the click of a button without having to dig through a bunch of buried menus. Now that she's back in place, I don't need automation to be on anymore. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. All right, so another automation mode besides just auto tracking one person can track a group with auto framing. To open up the automation drawer, we have a little settings gear next to the automation toggle that will then allow you all of the options available. We're going to go to the automation dropdown and click on auto framing. I click the save button, and you'll see that the camera settings were updated, but you won't see it actually enable until you toggle automation back on. Notice how the message has changed to auto framing has been turned on, and we can see that the camera has already started to frame our group. So one of the new features involving our presets is the ability to set pictures and names for our presets. So the way we're going to do that, I'm going to use the framing mode. Let's go in on Tess. As it zooms in on Tess, I like this spot, so I'm going to make this preset 1. As I click the set button in the preset control, and I click the 1, notice that it automatically created a picture for her. I'm going to go back to home. And you know what? Let's make one preset with the both of them in it. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to have the set button is already highlighted, and I'm going to click 2. And if I want to go through and actually name the presets, we have a little hover over here that brings up different banks. These will show you different sets of presets, so you don't have to have just 10 all the time. You can have 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and so on. And this is especially useful for when you have a morning service, evening service, or different times of day that light changes. You can have presets for any time, different pictures, and so on. As I go down here to the edit button, this is where you can start to change the names. So if I go back to bank 1 and I want to put Tess's name, I will click on the edit button and I will just call this Tess. Why not? I'll click on the check mark to save it, and there you have Tess. You can also upload your own image if you don't like the image that they currently have. Whenever you click on this little pencil icon, they will bring up the File Explorer, find an image that you like, and we're just going to click on that open button. And it's actually replaced it back there. Not that you can see it yet, but if I click on the check mark, you can see that it actually took the image away and has replaced it with my baseball image. And not only can you change the presets, the pictures for the presets, the names for the presets, when I mentioned earlier the different banks for different times of day, you can also change the name of these. So if I do prefer to have a morning, let's just change this to morning. Or if I want to be a little bit more specific and say, here are a bunch of stage presets, I can actually change which group we have labeled. That is specifically just so that somebody has ease of finding what they're looking for. Now that we have our presets set, we can also try another automation option. Besides auto tracking and auto framing, we go to our automation menu. We can also choose Preset Tour. As we go into select Preset Tour, we'll see our options change, and one of the options, Preset Range. We're going to change that to 1 and 2 because these are the 2 presets that I currently set. I'm going to click Save, and the camera settings are updated. Perfect. Now I'm going to toggle Preset Tour on, and it says in our little message that Preset Tour has been turned on. And notice that it immediately goes to Tess. And then after our time interval that we have set, it will switch to the next one. Now this is a little too fast. Let's go ahead and turn that toggle back off. Let's change this to, let's just do 10. Why not? Let's do 7. I like 7. I'm going to click Save. And after it gives away, I'm going to toggle it back on. And you're going to see it will start with Tess because it's preset 1. And then after 7 seconds, it should then switch over to the full group. And there we go. And this will just keep going in different ranges. And there are other options that you can turn on preset freeze. So if I actually toggle this off, just so that we can show that, I will go out to the full group, just so that we can start fresh. But if I click in the automation drawer, there's a tab up here called Mode. One of the options, Preset Freeze. Now if I turn this on, and I'm going to go ahead and save it, whenever I toggle Preset Tour back on, it will pause the video until it gets to the preset. So you should just see it instantly change to Tess. After about 7 seconds, you'll see the video pause, and then it'll instantly switch to the full group. So one of the new things that you'll see in our interface is that we have taken away all of the different boxes and tabs that have been around. To simplify things, you can find your image settings directly on top of the image of the video. If you open this up, you'll be able to change which stream is being used for your video preview. You'll be able to add limits for your pan and tilt. You'll be able to choose new overlays. If I just want to click on an overlay, you can actually see it separate everything into a grid. But you also have all of the image settings that you're used to and a nicer little tabbed interface. So as you start to change things, you'll notice that the video will update live. Let's change a few more things. Let's go to exposure, change it to manual. Why not? Notice the picture looks kind of washed out right now. If I try to exit out, it'll actually show you what the before was and what the after is. And if you like the after, you can apply it. And if you don't, you can revert. And you can also see all of the settings for the values. I don't like the new image, so I'm just going to go ahead and revert, and it will set everything back to the way it was. And also inside of the color settings, we have a new feature to where you can download the color settings directly by clicking on this little download. And notice it saved a little JSON file. I'm just going to open it up for everybody to see. and it just has all of our image settings. This is especially useful with multiple cameras because now you can go to the upload button and I can actually upload that JSON file. As I upload the JSON file, it will apply all of the image settings. So one of the new features we've added are different views. Right now you've been watching a basic view where you can do all of the basic controls you're used to, but we also have a color view. When we click on color view, you'll notice that the entire focus is color matching. We have all of our image settings at the bottom, all laid out. We have an RGB parade, waveform, vector scope, and we also have a before setting snapshot. So as you start to change things, you will see it update live on our live view on the right-hand side. And you'll be able to just go back and forth and make all of the different changes that you want to try to get your camera to be the best it can be and match it to a previous known good point. As I start to change that, you can see that the image is a little bit different. Let's go to SAE for mode. And I'm going to change some of these color tunings. As I see the image is kind of messed up and crazy, but I can always revert or I can apply. And that's the beautiful thing about having a before snapshot to see where you came from to know where you're going. All right, so another view that we have besides basic view and color view is studio view. This is kind of a reimagined way of doing presets. Instead of doing numbered presets the way we have before, we're going to use strictly pictures. So to start, we're going to create a new studio by clicking on Create View. And you'll notice it actually takes a snapshot from where you're currently aimed. The best place to do this is a wide shot. That way, when you hover over somebody, you can just left click on them and it will put a 1. Find somebody else, left click, and it'll put a 2. And notice this little quick bar down here will show you your studio, that image 1 and that image 2. As I click on it, right now you see 1 is highlighted and it will actually zoom in on tests. If I want to get back to the studio, I can just left click on the studio and it'll take us back. So these are a way to do different presets, and you can change the box size to be whatever you want, and it'll just keep adding it to our quick bar at the bottom. But if you don't want to go through the hassle of setting a ton of different people up for studio view, when you have a blank studio, we also have a person tracking that will automatically search and find different subjects. This person tracking is actually finding all of the automation that exists and will automatically place them in our studio view. And the beautiful thing about this is you can actually edit where some of these boxes are. So if the box is just slightly off, you can move it and you'll see it update live in our bottom view. But notice we have 3 different subjects and we didn't have to go find them. So now I can just zoom in on everybody individually. And that is studio view.
Thank you so much, Alex, for doing that great demonstration of Horizon. And before we get into the questions and answers, I know you guys probably have so many questions you want to ask, and we'll definitely get to all of those on Horizon. I wanted to just do one last little look at both Horizon and Hive, because we talked about both, and I want to make sure it's very clear on the 2 differences here. So look out for Horizon. It's coming very soon in the next couple of weeks, and the firmware will be releasing very soon. So Mike, let's go over to this slide so I can show you the future of camera control as we talked about. So not only will you have remote abilities to control your cameras with Hive, and that's going to be free with one camera, whether it's a PTZOptics camera or a non-PTZOptics camera. Over 400 cameras are currently supported. So you're looking at things like DSLRs and even going beyond the PTZ market. You'll have the ability to ISO record and have NDI outputs to put into your switching software like OBS and vmix. And of course, the ability to monitor and share that access to anyone that you'd like. Horizon is a free firmware that's coming very soon. It's going to be released for the Move 4K cameras and the Link 4K cameras specifically. And if you want to use other cameras like the Move SE, I would recommend looking into Hive because you'll have advanced control options for Hive and also advanced color corrections as well. So Hive, you'll be able to add all G3 cameras, but Horizon is that new free firmware coming out in the next couple of weeks for the Link 4K and the Move 4K cameras. Alrighty, I know you guys have so many questions about Horizon, and we even have Alex here in the studio to join us. He's a great developer who's been working on this awesome new web interface. Alex, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, man. You're going to provide a lot of insight. So, Tess, I know there were some questions in the comments before we got started.
Yes.
We have here on the screen.
Kicking us off with one from Pinnacle Media, setting up the quick presets. Do those get carried over to the SuperJoy presets? It would be a quick way to set them up.
So the quick presets, if you're referring to in Studio View, those will not be carried over to the SuperJoy. The presets that do get carried over are the ones that you saw on the basic view when it set the snapshot and you can set the name. Those will still carry over.
Do you think, Alex, in the future that it might be possible to have those two communicate together, where if you create a preset in the studio view, you could also create that preset inside of the basic view as well?
Well, I'd like to think anything is possible.
Anything is possible, yeah.
Just not yet. That's a feature that we can definitely look into.
Okay.
That's a good question.
That's great. And like a lot of these features have come because of our great audience and our great user base that have suggested these things. So without you guys adding these great feature requests and comments, we wouldn't get to a great platform like Horizon. So what else do we have, Tess?
Bill wants to know, oh, it went away. Can I see the scopes while adjusting color control?
So there is an option in the color view that you can see an RGB parade. You can see a vector scope, and you can also see the waveform and even a before snapshot of the image while you're working on it. And that does update live as you start adjusting the color view.
Okay, this one was from Ed. Are you going to document the camera's APIs so we can access these new web features programmatically?
We will work on the camera APIs and make sure that everything is documented. That way everything can be as easy to use as possible for any developers going forward. And hopefully get that integrated into the camera itself so you won't have very far to look.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I've come across people that have used our API to fully build their own control platforms. I know it sounds crazy because we offer all these great control options now and with Hive and Horizon. But yeah, people love messing around with the API and seeing what they can do with it. And if you want to get the latest and greatest, check out our beta group by joining our community group today. And that'll take you to a Discord where you can get some of the latest updates first and foremost. All right, Tess, what else do we have for questions about Horizon?
Questions about the SuperJoy. Can SuperJoy turn on and off tracking?
I believe that it can. We can set a custom button. We can actually use the API to turn it on and off without issue. And that should be available in the current HTTP API for the Move 4K, Link 4K, and the Move SE. So there should be no issue at all.
Yep. Yeah, you adjust those custom buttons in your web interface for the SuperJoy. So if you access the web interface, you'll see a portion for custom controls, and you can enter in the exact command that you want those custom buttons to do. That's one of the most popular. That's usually what we do at every trade show. And reminder, we'll be at NAB this year on April 6th to the 10th. So look out there, and you can we can show you directly in person exactly how those auto tracking custom buttons can work on the SuperJoy.
Okay, still HTTP API compatible, or is it different now?
It will be HTTP API compatible. So everything that you've used before, you will still be able to use again. And all of the new stuff will be just as easy, actually easier to use.
Here's a request for the product team. I'm with you, David Peltz. They want headroom adjustment for auto tracking. That will be a great update. Is that something that's possible?
I think it's definitely, it's a great question. It's definitely a feature that we can look into implementing, because I know it's been asked a lot, and that will be something that we look at going forward.
Looking through questions now. Does this work with the Blackmagic ATEM switcher remotely?
Are you referring to Horizon or are they referring to Hive?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I
I'm
believe-
going through older questions, so that might be Hive.
I
a
believe
Hive
I saw this
question.
question before I came over and they were referring to Hive.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure on the answer to that. I think no, but hopefully John in the chat can help me out with that one.
Okay. That might cover us. I think we're up to date right now.
Oh, that's great. Well, if you guys have questions about this new web interface or even Hive, we have Alex here, who's a wonderful developer and engineer who's helped work on some of these great products. So get them in now. Otherwise, we have a little bit of trivia to do for your Move SE giveaway. But if you have any other questions, let us know now.
Okay. Here's one from Spider Pig that we'll want to answer. Any way to integrate audio-based camera switching?
Well, that's a great question. Currently, with the newest firmware, we do have voice tracking capabilities. So you're able to use a microphone to get coordinates from around the room from anybody speaking. And it will actually connect to switchers and it will connect to different cameras. That way, depending on where they are, it will move to that preset. It will switch a switcher through like vmix or OBS. We also have an Intergenie integration. So that is actually available now, I believe, in the beta. We do have a voice tracking firmware, but it will also be available with the Horizon update.
Hive needs a small chat functionality or a party chat.
Yes, that is something that they're definitely looking into. Our Hive team is looking into some sort of chat functionality. So that is something that they're aware of and they're looking into. Obviously, there's tons of third-party options. Google Chat being free, something we use here locally at our job. But yeah, that's something embedded inside of Hive is definitely something we'd love to add.
Chad is excited and can't wait to see it at NAB because it's such a big launch for us.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Ruby loves it all. Thank you so much, Ruby. We appreciate you joining us today. And now, Mike, we can cue the QR code for the CrowdPer, the trivia. And I will put the link in the chat as well because some people were saying they were having trouble with the QR code. And give people time to ask a couple more questions while you set up your account, while you sign into CrowdPer, because we are going to be starting trivia soon to give away a PTZOptics Move SE camera to one very lucky winner. Thanks again, Alex, for joining us today and for hanging out.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hopefully you'll come back again. Hopefully we weren't too hard on you.
I beg to come in here every Wednesday or every month, I mean.
Every
this
month.
is the first time you guys have finally agreed. So
Oh, man. Yeah, so you can scan that code there, or you can go to crowd.live and enter the code AWPDY. And that'll take you to our exact live show giveaway. And we're giving away a Move SE.
Alex would love more of a voice chat option in Hive to chat to talk with the team.
Now, that is a great suggestion. That is definitely going to be forwarded to the team to look into.
Alrighty, we'll give you guys one more minute.
What are the specs needed to run for 3 4K cameras? Off the top of your head, is that?
Off the top of my head, I don't actually have the specs in my head. I'll be honest with you here.
I would recommend going to PTZOptics.com/Hive. We have some outlined specifications and recommended hardware for you guys. So if you're interested in finding the right computer, definitely go to that web page here. I'll throw it in the chat too to make it easy as possible for you. So if you want to learn more about Hive, you can head to that link there.
Oh, perfect. This is what we needed. Scan to join. We're beginning trivia soon. Do you want to hang for trivia, Alex?
I'm okay for trivia.
Okay.
We'll see what
you can
happens.
join with us. See if you know the
We'll
answers.
see if I get any right.
Don't spoil it now, though, Alex. Don't spoil it. There's a countdown code. All right. We'll give you 10, 20 seconds here, and I'm going to hit and start our trivia game here. 10 questions, and it's all about speed. Don't forget, the fastest to answer the question, the more points you'll earn, and that'll take you to be the winner of the new Move SE. So 10 more seconds here, and I'm going to click it to begin our games. Is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
All righty, let's begin and start our countdown.
Hopefully we did good on these questions.
I think we did pretty good. I think so.
With Alex here, I want to make sure we got him right.
So jump in now if you want to join our trivia. It's 10 questions, and you can win yourself a PTZOptics Move SE camera. All righty. These will be questions on both Horizon and Hive. So be prepared. Make sure you know the difference between our brand new web interface for the Move 4K and the Link 4K called Horizon and Hive.
Ooh, there is one question I want to answer really quick because I know that we have it already. Roy wants to know, are we working on customizing the auto tracking to be able to have it track while also using specific views like left or right alignment?
Yes. So I know that the different options inside of auto tracking, you should be able to move around and see the different, I believe one of the options is to change the framing
composition
mode. Yeah, the composition, exactly. So I know that I think John can probably get like a screenshot or something in the chat to show it more specifically.
Okay. Yep. And we're working on more, John says.
Alrighty, I'm going to continue the game now. You got a little extra time here now because I paused it. No worries, Tess. So you guys have a clicking clock here. I'll probably switch the question over at around 30 seconds. I'll have to make sure to change that for next time. But which PTZOptics camera supports Horizon's WebUI? So that's our latest WebUI for the Move.
I'll say of the cameras you see, because there is one more camera that's not listed here.
That's true.
Technically.
That's very true.
But we didn't learn that until yesterday.
Okay.
After we made these questions.
Okay, let's see. Forget how to jump to the end of this here. It's been Paul doing this every time. Okay, we have to let this click down all the way then, and you'll find out.
Okay. I wonder what people are answering.
And
people are going to want to say B because it's just green.
Yeah, the color really makes it kind of confusing.
Yeah, it does.
And it is exclusively for the Move 4K and the Link 4K. So check out in a couple weeks when we release a new firmware update and you can get access to Horizon. All right, question number 2. Horizon offers full remote control and team sharing. Is it true or false? True or false? Horizon offers full remote control and team sharing. Alrighty, at 30 seconds, I'm going to end our question here. I think that's plenty of time. The answer is false. It's Hive that offers full.
Only 61% got it right.
Remote access and team sharing. That's exactly part of the benefit of doing this. Horizon is our awesome new WebUI. It's coming in the next couple of weeks. But if you want remote access to your cameras and sharing them around the world, look out for Hive on the 6th of April.
David Horst is in first place right now.
All right. Question number 3. How does the AI-powered Studio View enhance user control in Horizon? Does it eliminate the need for any manual presets? Does it detect people and build dynamic presets? Or does it lock the camera to a single wide shot view? I can also show the rankings here, which I need to do. I keep forgetting I'm in control here. Alrighty. 3 more seconds and I'm going to end it here. The answer is B. It detects people and builds dynamic presets. All right, let's check our leaderboards here. We have Richard Pine at 99 up with 278 points. He's up by 2.
Wow.
This is a close race, everybody. All righty, on to question number 4. What tool in Horizon allows you to draw a box to reframe the camera instantly? Is it the bounding box mode? Is it the framing mode, or is it the quick snap? What tool in Horizon allows you to draw a box to reframe the camera instantly? I feel like we got to get some game music for this, Mike, in the future.
We do need music.
A little like PTZ jam, you know?
There might be music and we just don't hear it.
We'll get that going. We'll get that going next time. All right, I'm going to show the correct answers now. The answer is B. The framing mode is how you can create a box in Horizon that'll instantly frame based on that box you
You
create.
got that one?
I got that one. So far, I'm doing very well in this.
Oh,
Okay.
great. I'm glad. I don't see your name up here, though, Alex. We have Richard Pine, who's still in first.
I don't know if as an employee you can win.
No, I don't think so. That would be very illegal.
Maybe my pseudonym is Richard Pine.
Maybe.
All right. Mike's actually queued up some music, he said already. Look
Oh,
at that.
great.
Look, a live producer. What a man. All right. Let's move to question number 5. How do users access Horizon's features and control? Is it through a desktop application that they access Horizon? Do they update their Move 4K to the latest firmware? Or do they is it via built-in a web interface on the camera? Interesting. All right, the clock is ticking. I'm going to show you the correct answer, which maybe it's a trick question because it is. There's 2 answers for this question.
Goodness, you're cruel.
We haven't done that yet. I got you guys on that one. I should have let you know that was going to happen. But the answer is both B and C. So in order to get this, you're going to update your Move 4K or your Link 4K in the next couple of weeks when we release that new firmware. And then that's how you'll access it, via the built-in web interface on your camera. So it's not a desktop application. It's all based through the web. All right, let's look at our ranking. Richard Pine is still killing it in first place. Only up by 1 point, though. Guys, it's a close race.
Anyone can win.
Anyone can win, and we're halfway through. On to question number 6. When is Hive Studio officially releasing? We gave you the big announcement. It was one of the first things Tess said today. What day? I probably have said this date maybe 8 times in the last hour or so.
Yep.
What day will we be releasing Hive Studio?
Big date.
Clock is ticking. You've been very excited for it. Let me give you a hint as we count down. It's going to be released at NAB. Last year at NAB, we won the NAB Product of the Year, right? In
Product
remote
of the
access.
year, remote control.
In remote control. So we're going to be back officially announcing its release at NAB. And that takes place on April 6th. 94% correct. Let's look at the leaderboards. And Richard Pine is still killing it now with 2 points up. It's time for question number 7, everybody. Which of the following is not a feature of Hive Studio? Let's see. Is it A, built-in live streaming to social media? Is it integrated camera control and color correction? Or is it recording within the platform? Which is not currently a feature. And we're always open, and we're always going to continue to develop it. So don't be surprised if this comes in the next year after you're using Hive. But which feature isn't currently supported in Hive?
And it's only one answer.
It's only one answer. That's the last time I'll trick you guys. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to reveal it now. And it is A, built-in live streaming to social media. So you can't directly stream to social media, but you can use NDI outputs to send your video feeds to your switcher. So take a look in the future. We're listening to all feedback. If this is something that you guys really want, let us know in the comments. If you want to live stream from Hive, we can certainly add that in the future. All righty. Leaderboards are... Richard Pine is gone. What happened to Richard Pine? Wow, this is an upset.
How did that happen?
Down to 12th. I'm assuming that he maybe had to walk away from his computer or didn't get to answer it in time.
Sure.
Or got it incorrect. All righty, let's move on to question number 8. How many types of cameras does Hive Studio support? Is it only the PTZOptics cameras? Is it B, up to 100 different types of cameras? Or is it C, 400 cameras? Which does it support? Hive Studio. Okay. There's only a couple more questions after this, everybody. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds. And the answer is C. It supports over 400 cameras. It's non-PTZ cameras. It's even DSLRs or webcams. And it doesn't have to be a PTZOptics camera. So if you do have a PTZOptics camera, you're going to have the ability to Hive link that camera. So that'll come with a lot of great benefits like instant setup times for those remote productions. Alrighty, we have Joe, who's in first place now with a big lead, actually, from what we're used to.
Lead.
It's time for question number 9.
2 more questions.
What does Hive Link allow users to do? What does Hive Link allow users to do? I just mentioned this. Is it A, to live stream directly from your cameras? Is it B, to instantly install and control cameras, including automation and calibration? Or is it C, does it convert your SDI signal to HDMI? Alrighty, and the answer is B. It instantly installs and allows you to control your camera, and that means remotely. And that means your color settings, your control settings, that means your automation settings, and even calibrating or rebooting your camera, all remotely. You do have the ability to use PTZOptics cameras to live stream directly from your camera, which is really awesome. But if you want to convert an SDI signal to HDMI, that's up to you. You gotta go buy an adapter for that one. Alrighty, let's move on to the ranking. Can Joe maintain this lead and win? Everybody, Phil is right behind him. Can Joe win it? On to question number 10. Which of the following best describes Hive Studio's team sharing capabilities? Is it A, requires physical presence in the same network? Is it B, it allows camera access but no control options? Or is it C, it enables full team collaboration with role-based access from anywhere? Excuse me. Alrighty, 5 more seconds and I'm going to stop the clock here. We will reveal the winner. The correct answer is C. It enables full team collaboration with role-based access. So you can use team roles like producer, which allows full control over your cameras, or admin, full control over your Hive Studio. Or you can even invite people in to be a viewer in Hive Studio. So check out Hive Studio. Now let's reveal who won a Move SC. Drum roll. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, this is fun how it says that.
Third place, it's Phil Young. Okay, we're counting down. Mike in second place. Who is the winner of the Move SE? Who got it? And it's Joe. Congrats, Joe. Tess, did they throw their name in the comments or they reach out to us?
They can reach out to test.protesto@PTZOptics. I'll put my email in the chat.
Reach out to Tess. She's going to throw her email in the chat there so you can reach out to her and get yourself the Move SE. Remember, you can be a winner of the Move SE. We do these live shows on the last Wednesday of every month. Next show, of course, will be all about Hive Studio because that's going to be released on April 6th, as we mentioned. Tess, if there's no more questions, there's nothing else, what else does the audience need to know before we leave them?
Please like and subscribe, of course, so we can continue bringing you content like this. It's really important to have our users like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here today. And we will see you after NAB to celebrate the launch of Hive on the last Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific in April. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for joining us.
Thank you.